Hi, this is the screen-o-matic test for Peter Mooney, HDIP student in computer science at DKAT. The resources that we used for this assignment were class lectures, class tutorials, private tutorials, and discussions with other class members and group members. So this is going to talk about a few things. First, I'm going to talk about the DTT, the XML, and then the interoperability between the two databases. So what is a DTT? The main purpose of a DTT is to spell out the structure of the XML file so that users know how to interpret it. But another more important use is to validate the document to make sure it does not have any structural errors. So this is the DTT that we done here for this database. Okay, so we sat down with the other group and we had a discussion about the differences and the comparability between the two databases. And given that ours was one on a heart monitor and ours was one on breast cancer, there was very few areas that shared a common ground. But what did share a common ground was in both databases we had patients. In a patient we had a first name, a last name, and age, and then in another table then we had our appointment. So this here is just the structure of the DTT, and this here are the rules of the DTT that we put in the appointment, the age, the last name, and the first name. Okay. So let's go back then. Look, so what is an XML? XML file is a way to store and exchange information in a standardized way that's easy to create, retrieve, and exchange between different types of computer systems or programs. And as I said here, we're using two different databases. One's for heart monitor, and the other one from the other group is for breast cancer screening. Okay, so just have a look at our XML now and how it's structured. You see how it's structured there is similar to the rules as in the DTT. In the opening and closing tags we have a first name, a last name, an age, and an appointment date. And this is just some information that's in my database at the moment. And later on we look at the other groups HTML. We have a look at it now. There's something that we copied into a notepad file, and you see there that the names are different, but the rules are still the same. We have first name, last name, and age, and a date for an appointment. Okay, so let's go close that, open this back up. So go back in. So what is the interoperability between the two files? Well, what is interoperability in the first place anyway? Interoperability allows disparate information between systems of multiple vendors to readily work together and exchange data. Enables valuable business connections, whether across processes, between people and information, or among companies in a value chain. Providing interoperability helps customers decrease complexity and better manage heterogeneous environments while enhancing choice and innovation in the market. So I suppose the heterogeneity, the environment that we're both working in is the healthcare sector. And as I said, we're using the heart monitor database, and the other group is using a breast cancer screening database. Let's just go and have a look at the database now. You can see there we have our patient names. Let's go to open up now. There's your names there. You have your ID, you have your first name, your last name, and the age. That's the first three attributes that's in the XML file. I go down here now, have a look at the patient visits, and you can see then that the visit date or the appointment date is the other common attribute that's between the two databases. And the reason that we only share this small piece of information is because it is the only piece of information that is common between the two databases that we can share. Okay, so just going back in now and have a little bit of a look at the. I'm just going to clear this out of the way first, so I can show you how the program works first to fill up the database. Okay. Now ideally we should have a menu here to do this, an options menu, but given the trouble that we had getting it done, we just have to do it this way here. So this is to get patients from the database, and this is to write patient files to the XML. So I'm just going to run that. And as you can see, there's the printout of the first name, last name, and age. And this information then is printed out back into the XML file. Okay, so just format that, and there you can see that's the information in it. Okay, so later on I'm going to take this information here and I'm going to write it back into my database, and this is the information that's come from the XML file from the other group. I'm just going to go back in now and have a look at some of the code. As I said earlier on, myself and Kevin worked on this, but we've done it in we did have major contributions from Kathy and Caroline in the other group, and likewise we were working on theirs as well. So as you can see, these are the rules, these are the things there now. Write patient details to the database, and this here is the code that allows you to do a try catch statement, a bit of a for loop there, and this here is your the statement insert patient into visits, null value, null and a value where this particular one here is where the interoperability comes into play between the two databases. Okay, this one here to have then is similar again, taken from a different table. It's taken from the patient names table, and you see to select from again you can select the information from the patient visits. I just also point out here as well that or something else that that I worked on as well was the patient Java class. So you had to put in here the class, we put in all these constructors and all these rules as well, so that keep this one private to our database, and this one here then was public, so it can be accessed from an outside class. And these are just the getters and setters that we used then to put them into the database. As you can see there, you would have a public string for get first name and the set first name, same for the set. Sorry, for the get last name, and then to set the last name as well. And that will go the whole way down there. You see through the set age and set get age and set age, and then get appointment and set appointment. These then are the rules that allows it to print the information into the database, if you like, and then transfer it into the I'll take it from the XML and put it into the database. And you see we have a couple of try catch exceptions in here as well with some rules. If it's could not work, so you get this error message. If there was something wrong with this, then you could not insert patient info into the database. Right, so just gonna back in here now. So I have this. What I want to do now is I want to show you how I can take my information from the XML file and read it back into the database. And I'll just show you the database here now. You can see that the forenames, that's the patient visit times. This is in the patient names. That these are the forenames that I took out and copied into the XML file. So I'm just going to do now. I'm going to copy these names back in. So next time you open this up and refresh it, we'll have 8 names in here instead of 4. So just go back into my code and into here. Now, as I said, ideally we would have had a menu to do this, but time constraints. Have some written in some little instructions here in order to get to to get the patient data from the information to the database, uncomment or comment out the read patient file database. So this takes it from the database and puts it into the XML file. So I'm going to copy this out here now. I'd say ideally we should have had a menu for this. So I'm just going to uncomment out this. So what it's going to do now is it's going to read it from the file, from the XML file, and into the database. See that running there? So I'll put in the name of the path of my file now, which is ppl.xml. And I'm going to run that, and you can see this is the information that's taken. It says new object patient set. That is for the date. So it's going to read the first patient's name. Then it's going to add that patient's name to the database. Peter, John, Harry, and Peter again. So if I go back into my database and refresh, and open up the patient names, you can see that information is in there. And likewise, if I go into patient visits, that information was put into the patient visits. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. You see we've used this a few times before to run and test it. So we got visitor values now of 26, 27, 28, 29, and these are the dates and times that the patient visits are. Just as you can see in that, all the patient visits are on the same day. So now, not run out of time here now. So what I want to do is let me go back into my code. I want to, I'll go back into the PPL. I want to delete all this. Now, this is the information that we got from the other girls group. So this is the interoperability part of it again. So I'm just going to highlight all that, and then I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it in here. Control V. So you can see there's all the information that's in there that's coming off from their database. So what I'm going to do, I'll run that file again. So I enter the path file again. This is a little bit slow because I'm running off my stick as opposed to from my laptop. And you see there's all the names again. So I go back into my database, click refresh, go to patient names, and you can see all them names was added there. Now you can see the other major difference here. Well, I suppose it's not really major. It's a major difference for the breast cancer ones. Is that all the names are women's names, whereas we've just kind of like chosen male names for the heart ones. That's not just to say anything really. And again, if you go into patient visits, and you can see all their dates are in there. So I'll just go back into the code now for a couple of seconds. Starting to run out of time here. So as you can see, just what I've discussed, showed you how it's done, discussed the DTD, the XML file, and the interoperability. I showed you how the information was taken from the database into the XML file and copied back, and I showed you how the information was copied from another database's XML file and updated into my database. And if you look at the screencast from Kathy and Caroline, you will see the same. So just run out of time now. There you go, not perfect, not great, but it does work.